on whether to release the Epstein files. Going to vote next week. It had been maybe in December, but it's going to happen now next week. And I know that you have been clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you are going to vote to release the full Epstein files. In that context, Congressman, I want to ask you about something Trump posted today. It was a warning to Republicans who plan to do what you do, to vote yes on that release. He said the Democrats are trying to bring up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax again because they'll do anything at all to deflect on how badly they've done in the shutdown and so many other subjects. Only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap. So, Congressman, an odd question to ask you in a professional interview like this, but I guess I have to do it. Are you a very bad or stupid Republican?
Well, look, you want to change the subject from the Democrat shutdown, and let's not bury the lead here. Democrats kept the government shut down for 6 weeks over status quo funding. There wasn't like, oh, Republicans loaded this bill up with Republican policy agendas. We have our agenda, and we certainly want to do that, but we wanted to have the appropriations debate with the government open. And so, you know, that's the story tonight. And there will be a story about the Epstein files in 7 legislative days.
Well, I will disagree with you. I will disagree with you. And just since you're coming on my program, I would like an answer, if I could, to the question, right? Which is, you've said, and if I'm not mistaken, that you're going to vote for full release of the Epstein files. Trump says only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap.
Well, look. The Epstein list at this point is becoming like Schrodinger's list, right? It's like it's simultaneously nothing and simultaneously everything. It can't be both. And that's why Pam Bondi needs to come here and explain herself. That's one of the hearings that we were supposed to have in October. And hopefully that'll get rescheduled soon, and say, how is it that you can do binders full of documents to selected journalists early in the administration and then, you know, months later come out and say, well, there's nothing there? How is that? And when you start digging down into it, a lot of the victims here took settlements and they signed non-disclosure agreements, and they didn't want to go to trial. They didn't want to go through the burden of the trial. And so how do you respect their rights as victims and yet bring justice? And I think that's the challenge the Justice Department's doing. I haven't signed the discharge petition because I do support the administration doing everything they can, but they're going to lose this fight. They've already lost it on Massey's discharge petition. And I think that was unnecessary. They're working to disclose what they can. But the point is, we don't need another thing for Congress just to fuel outrage on. The number one question I think I've gotten since being a member of Congress is, when is somebody going to jail? And that's the question. If there are people who are trafficked, then someone was trafficking them. And who are they trafficked to? And if that happened, there should be justice.
And that, Congressman, I think you are in line with, I believe, the vast majority of Americans and perhaps of your peers as well. Certainly, I agree with you. I don't know who wouldn't agree with that. But just to be clear, I know you were clear. You didn't vote for the discharge petition, but you told Manu earlier, so I just want to make sure that I have this correct, that you will vote to release the full Epstein files when the Speaker brings that vote to the floor.
Yeah, when it comes to the floor, look, you get privileged resolutions. One of the paths to do it is the discharge petition. Those things rarely succeed. This one did. And so it comes to the floor. A lot of times you'll use procedural things like motion to table. I don't even think that should be in order. If it's privileged, it deserves an answer. And I think, yeah, okay, disclose the list. But that isn't going to satisfy the burden of justice here. If there are people who committed crimes, and it looks like there were people who committed crimes, there are clear victims of this. They didn't traffic one another to themselves. Where is the justice? And that's exactly what the Attorney General is supposed to do. That's what U.S. attorneys are supposed to do. But I do find it